What up, Facebook fam? Episode 14. The time is 7:03, April 5th, 2021. About to jump into it. Today we're supposed to be jumping into part 2 of the dividends. But we got a new little guest here. Looking real. I did not see his face because the thing was blocking. Looking real. What's the dude's name? Chester what?
Looking like a Yoruba demon. Looking like a Yoruba demon.
Yoruba angel, man. Yoruba angel.
Not Best Buy, from Best Men, bro. I forget his name.
Don't say Tay Diggs. Don't say Tay Diggs.
More chestnut in the building, people.
You know.
Yeah, Mike. How'd the week go though, Mike? How'd the week go last week?
Man, last week was actually pretty good, man. So it's comeback season is what we call this. It's comeback season. 2 weeks ago, we was all hurting. But April, it's turnaround time. And so since it's turnaround time, we're going to keep it turning around. So, last week I was able to close out a good amount of positions. I added about a 1% week to my portfolio last week. So, hey, all smiles. We added a couple new positions, and we're rolling into this week. Hey, we're going to keep it rolling. That's my week. That's me. How about you, Schizo? How was your week?
Same old, bro. Just rocking those, kind of like I told you, kind of like a start over process of just bringing in small change and just waiting for the bounce back and keep adding to the account. Right. Keep adding to the account until it's time. Olu, bro, are you even still rocking anything, bro?
What you doing, son?
I am still in the game.
Okay, we're gonna make sure.
Every now and then and drop an LOL and then be out. I ain't said nothing
about
I have to. Well, because look, the sanity check, man. Sanity check. It's been a long month.
That dude, I finally got that dude to add in a little extra cash, bro. No sooner I said, hey, add a little bit more money. The market said, dang, it's messed up.
It's what's crazy. Well, we'll get into the E-Trade account later when we do the introduction or whatever. But yeah, it's been a month.
It's been a long one.
But yeah,
it's
Mike,
been a real
for
long
me,
month.
it's same old, bro. Just adding that little small change, bro. That small cheese and nothing changed right now. Just adding the small cheese. We are getting a little bit of a bounce back.
Yeah,
hadn't been
most definitely
crazy. It ain't ran back up to the January levels or anything, but
no.
It's moving. So, but without further ado, Mike, I'll let you take over and introduce Olu, how y'all want to do it, and I'm gonna go on mute.
Well, let's go. So today's special guest, we got a special guest in today, Junior. We put him on game. He's going to be our younger. We put him on game about a year ago, and he's been rocking out with us. Been learning a lot from us. So we're just going to give you the floor, Junior, man. We just want to talk about your journey this week or today, excuse me. Talk about where you started, not just options, but where you started in the stock market in general.
Okay.
2012, 11, whenever you started. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just kind of go over it, and then we'll ask questions as it kind of moves forward. So the floor is yours, sir. Go ahead.
Perfect. Junior, as you all know, as you said, from DC, born in Nigeria, so I'm Nigerian. Olu is actually my first name, but I go by Junior because I'm a junior. I've been trading since about 2012, 2013. Started out with just a Roth IRA. So I was just putting in long-term stocks and whatnot. So like your Googles, your Facebook, Apples, pretty much tech centered. I had a few oil and gas in there. And then when everything dropped down, I got out of a lot of my oil and gas positions and kind of went more into the technology space. And then when I got out of oil and gas, probably like 2017, 18 timeframe, I got out of everything oil and gas.
And then you said you had an RIA,
Roth IRA, yep.
Were you trading out of that though, or because I know?
No, so trading for me when I started out was like a retirement plan. So
yes.
I had my Fidelity. I had two different accounts of Fidelity. Of course, I had a regular trading account, and then I had the Roth IRA. And I played with the Roth. I put more in the Roth IRA. Number one, tax purposes, and then number two, with the Roth, I was like, I don't want to be charged for every trade, right? So with every trade, I'm like, man, I can't, keep day trading back and forth. So what I ended up doing was just kind of getting positions where I know I'm going to be in long term, and I'm just going to you know, kind of check the bucket, and then, you know, 20, 30 years later, you know, here we are. So
one thing I'll say, I want to ask a quick question and make a quick statement. First and foremost, you're talking about your Roth IRA. Are you maximizing your Roth IRA?
Yep.
At the point in time or now?
So it's funny. I definitely was maximizing my Roth IRA all the way up until I started doing the will.
Yeah.
So we'll get into that though. We'll get into that.
So I'll say this for everybody that's watching right now, you know, maximizing, especially if you get into our strategy and you start making capital, you know, you almost want to maximize the Roth IRA for the simple purpose of reducing your taxable burden. Just that purpose alone. I try to maximize my Roth IRA or my IRA just for that purpose, because the more you can reduce, the more you can reduce your I'm thinking of 401k, excuse me. I'm thinking 401k, not your Roth IRA.
Yeah.
But regardless of that point.
Well, you still get a tax write-off for the Roth.
Yeah, you do. But you're right. But you want to make sure you maximize everything that you can just for taxable purposes. But go for it.
Yep. So you're right. Yeah. So Roth IRA started, you know, kind of max. I think the max has gone up because it was 5,500. Now I think it's 5,900.
It's 6 racks.
Yep. So 6 racks pretty much. And so I was doing that, and then started trading on a little bit or more on the Fidelity brokerage account. And then when Robinhood opened up, I, you know, threw some play money in there, and then started trading that way. And then that's how I got into options and everything. Retail.
This is before. This is before we talked about. This is before.
So I started trading options probably sometime in 2018, 2019.
Okay.
2018. Yeah, because when I moved back to Houston. So yeah, around 2018, I started trading options. I was playing the call side only, and I was buying calls. So
yes.
So that's all I did, is just pretty much read charts and trying to anticipate it going up and play calls.
And how did that work out for you? How did that work out for you in the long run?
In the long run, it was horrible, because when you're only playing the call side, and the way that user instincts are, especially when you use a Robinhood, you get trigger happy a whole lot easier because you start seeing the chart move a little bit. You're not really looking at a good chart. And Rufus told me this as I started to wheel. Like, the charts aren't, you know, I didn't see level 2 data. I was just looking at how it was moving and just, hey, look, all right, I think it's going to go up. Let me go ahead, get this call for next week. Didn't think about time decay, any of that, until, you know, I got into the game a little bit more, like in 2019, 2020. But playing the straight up, you know, go ahead.
One comment I always try to bring either my experience or anybody's experience that's a negative, I try to bring it back to a positive. So with that being said, I guess we could kind of say long term is relative, right? Because in the short term, it was maybe horrible because, you know, you had a learning curve to go through, right? But in the long term, learning how to do those calls, I would think, and the time decay and the experience, I would think is helping you right now with selling.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt, because now I've even started getting into, you know, kind of buying the calls because of what I've learned with the wheel strategy and everything like that.
Longer term exposure.
That exposure and looking at how everything makes sense. Now I feel more comfortable getting into a certain
buying a call because now you know how the other side works as well.
Exactly. So and sometimes I'll buy calls just to, you know, as leverage as well, you know. So I know it's been good. But so the transition, I guess we'll go into the transition from, you know, being a retail investor and using the Robinhood, I guess, platform for calls and calls. I didn't really do much on the put side. So a lot of options. I found a lot of success early on, but that was, I think it was pretty much beginner's luck, to be quite honest with you. And my brother and I, we trade. And we have a chat that we kind of talk through with all of our trades and whatnot. And I got good. You know, there was some plays that I was able to get 500% in a few days, and you know, and cash out. And there was some plays where I held on too long, and by the time it expires, it was at 1 cent. So, you know, learn quickly that, you know, the options game is not for the weak, for sure. So and then. About
going to the wheel.
Let's
talk about us now.
So fast forward to 2020, March 2020, and I took a beating March 2020. I get a call from Rufus. He's like, "Hey,
Schizo.
Sorry, Schizo. You call me
real quick.
This is payback. Go ahead.
What's it supposed to be?
What?
The name. I don't know.
Junior. This is easy.
I didn't know. Hey, look.
Hey, just to let y'all know, we got about 5-6 minutes, so we want to make sure we wrap this up in a little bit. We good, but just want to let y'all know for 15 minutes conversation.
Before you went 17 to 20, you were just doing your straight up options and a little bit of stocks?
Option and stocks. Yep.
Okay, got it.
Yep. And then so 2020 came, and we hit that little. I guess it wouldn't be little, but it was definitely a downturn, and with COVID and everything. And I get a call from Rufus. And I thought that Rufus was going to try to sell me a business idea or tell me to buy in on something. I was ready to say no. He's like, listen to me. I got to tell you something, but I'm going to call you back in 5 minutes. And then an hour later, he calls me, and then we talk through that strategy. And I'm like, yeah, I play options, blah, blah, blah. And then he kind of told me the will strategy. And I was like, oh, you know what? This sounds cool. I'm going to go ahead and put $1,000 in the account, just dedicated to the will strategy.
Yes, see.
Just left it at that. Well, before the end of, because I guess I started in April, the beginning of April, 2020. Before the end of April, I already added more money to it, and and I kind of just continue adding money because I started seeing results from the will strategy, and it was we kept going back and forth on percentage, return on investment, right? Anybody who's doing anything, you always want to know what your return on investment is. And when I started, the return on investment was crazy because I had a 360 money market account that I was getting, I think, 2% or 2.4%. And that's really high.
Garbage. Right. It is.
Well, that's really high.
Yes, right? Yes, I agree.
I had that, and, I was going back and forth with Schizo, and it's funny because I actually took money out of that and put it into another account. I started using E-Trade just to have an account where all I'm doing is the will strategy. Yeah. And what's crazy, and I'm not giving any numbers because I'm still broke compared to McFly and Schizo over there. But so if we do numbers like this, percentages,
right. If you feel comfortable with percentages.
Yep, from April 2020 to January 2021, off of the will strategy, 100% return.
Was that the best ROI you've ever had?
Ever.
But point blank,
higher than my 401k has performed.
Yeah.
Year over year.
With taxes deferred. With taxes, with any, what I want to say to people that are watching this point is, for me, for anybody else, there has never been a strategy that I have deployed that has been a more profitable ROI. No. Schizo, have you ever had a more profitable year in terms of percentage?
No more profitable ROI, but one thing I do want to say, which I told you in the very beginning, with my goal, my plan, I guess you would say that 1 to 3 plan is, I want to see what that ROI is looking like in a year that's not COVID, where things are so.
Of course.
There was so much gain to be made. Yes. Because we had the COVID flash in March, and there's so much ground to make up. So it was easy. Like, even people that we're teaching right now, we'll tell them, hey, you get on a little late, but it's still a good strategy. But it was easy when we was doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it was easy. Good. The last year was fantastic.
Yeah, the implied volatility was up, though. So it's
super high.
So I would, to answer your question, I would say yes, best ROI, but I do want to see maybe what 2021 has to offer on that ROI.
Of course. And this is a strategy that we want to say is going to be deployed. That's not just a 1-year strategy. It's a continuous strategy. And I think, Junior was probably, in our group of 8 people, Junior, you probably the 4th most profitable person in our group.
Yeah.
Right after Ghost and everybody else.
Yeah.
We probably the 4th most profitable. I'm gonna put anybody's name out there.
For sure.
But so hey, if you're watching this,
it's a great strategy. Trust me. And I think what I like most about it is that it is risk averse. So you can manage, Yeah, exactly. You can kind of manage or choose wisely how you want to go into it and what stocks you want to use. And I think the biggest, you have learning curves, right? So for me, I chased IV and I chased premiums quite a bit at first, where, especially when you're doing weeklies versus monthlies. And,
Yes.
I got burned a few times, but if you stick to the strategy, you're always going to be profitable. And one thing, Schizo used to always tell me was, when I would call him for advice on certain positions, if I should get out or if, I need to, maybe roll it into the next week or the next month, is that the thing about this strategy is not, losing money. It's that you just don't maximize the amount of money you can make, right? So don't get too greedy because the premiums are going to be there. You're going to, it's the strategy works. So when you start chasing, that's when, you may lose money because now you've gotten out of your initial position. But once you make that first position, whether you get assigned or not, understanding that strike and where you want to be and sticking to the strategy, you're always going to make money. You're always going to be profitable. And I mean, I know we talked about maybe how profitable you are depending on whether the year is COVID or not. No matter what, the math is there. You're always going to be profitable. So as long as you pick a quality stock that you believe in and you want to be, you wouldn't mind getting assigned.
That part. That part, bro.
That sounds great.
That last part is very important, though. That last part is very, very important. Very important.
Quality stock, bro. You want
quality stocks.
You gotta pay for that.
That's facts.
Hey guys, I have a few leverage stocks that burned me, but at the stocks that I would hold for the next 5 years have all done me well.
So that's going to be about 15 minutes, guys. So Schizo, any more questions for Junior, man?
Nah, so I mean, just to close it off, I guess I'd want to kind of say, well, where you at now? I know you got into doing a strategy. Are you still just kind of rocking that in Robinhood, or kind of?
I am still on both. I'm still on rocking the will strategy on both. Now I have an E-Trade account that's all will.
All will, yeah.
Brokerage accounts, it's a mixture of stocks, options, and the will strategy, but I have an account solely for the will strategy. And it's funny because I started in December. By February, I was up 20%.
Facts.
20%.
You talking about the E-Trade account?
Yeah, on the E-Trade account.
Okay,
Yep.
okay.
And this is strictly will. This is will strategy, mind you. So I'm not buying any stock. It's just
will.
This is the will strategy. So I was up 20%. And I think the first week in March, I was still roughly about 15%. That obviously tanked. But now, as of this morning, I'm back up. I was negative most of March, by the way, just so we're clear, because I got assigned a few positions.
Yeah.
But still doing the covered call side of it, and then getting assigned some on the covered call, even as we kind of come out of this terrible March. I'm about 10% now. So
yeah, the money's there. It's there.
Even with
the returns are there.
The downturn, I've lost less doing the will than I have in my other positions.
Big facts. Okay.
Let's leave it at that.
Junior, man, we want to thank you for coming on today. We've been trying to get you on here for a little bit. You've been in that group. We wanted to talk to you, man, just to understand your journey. Schizo, you said you had your hand up. You want to say something?
No.
I just want to call it so we're not going too long. That's all I'm trying to do. I don't go too long.
Good. I'm gonna get on more often. I promise. It's been a hectic month.
We understand. So, Junior, before we call it a day, man, you want to add anything else for the audience to hear?
Audience, please. I understand there's a lot of frenzy around the stock market. A lot of people are just throwing money at anything they can, and we're seeing that with the way certain stocks are moving and whatnot. Because I use the term retail a lot, but the retail investors, just do some research and just take your time. The will strategy is probably the easiest to understand as far as making safe calls and having your money not risking a lot of money to make money. Of course, everything is a calculated risk, whether you're doing bonds or whatnot, but the will strategy works. I mean, it's only been a year for me, but with April to February, you know, it was great for me. And then March was a rough month, but even out of probably the roughest month I've had on my stock side, I'm still making gains while, you know, implied volatility is dropped a little bit. It's still making gains on the will side of the strategy. So I kind of wish that I took everything out, put it in the will, and then kind of ran it in March if I would have known what I know now, but hindsight 2020. But yeah, please take a look into the will strategy. Trust me, it works.
Okay, well, just to kind of go into closing, we always say, man, if you're watching this, you know, start your journey today. Take the future into your own hands. We are Maintain Your Gains. Follow us on Instagram and YouTube at Maintain Your Gains. Robinhood and Betterment links in the description. You know, please follow, like, and subscribe. And always remember, life's good. Have a blessed day.
Small gains, gang.
Small gains.